Japan is a great place to buy art supplies. One of the things I love is that there are so many places like 100 yen discount stores or even drug stores or other places just selling an amazing range of stationery and cheaper art materials. I recently took a trip to Japan's Okayama prefecture, which is situated in the western side of the country. Even though there aren't as many specialist stores like in Tokyo or Osaka, I was able to find a whole heap of interesting art supplies, which I'll be sharing with you in this video. First up is this Talon sketchbook. It's probably the least Japanese item in this video, but I got this for landscape sketching during the trip to try to branch out from just doing portraits. In the end, I didn't use this much on the trip. I did do a bit of sketching at this shrine, although I ran out of time to finish the drawing, so I'll have to complete this one at home and hopefully I can share that in a future video. Next up are these Maraman sketchbooks that are almost ubiquitous across Japan. But I did manage to score some unique versions, like this Ghibli one that I bought, and another that I was lucky enough to get from the airline ANA. Here's a standard one, and a couple of sketches from the trip. They have a really nice rough texture, as you can see here. And here's a few drawings that I've done previously on this same paper. Now these are 2 pads of paper from the 100 yen store Seria. This one's called Colors of Japan. I had to search a few shops to find it. I wanted to get this one again since I've used it previously in these mask drawings done using coloured pencil, and this paper worked really well for them. So I'm looking forward to drawing something on each page of this pad. Maybe that can be a future video. Here are some of the colours. And they have an unusual texture, which I'm trying to show here. Here's the second pad, which is made out of the same type of paper, but has a set of pastel or pale colours. Okay, so when I've been to Japan before, I've always seen these really different masking tape designs, but I never really had a need for them. But now that I have this YouTube channel, I finally do. So you can look forward to watching these being peeled off slowly in a future video. Alright, now this is just a cool paper bag. But what's inside of these boards, which I found in a specialist paper shop? I understand these are for different purposes, but I got them to use as a painting surface for acrylic and gouache paint. There were quite a few different types, and they were really affordable, so it'll be interesting to see how they go as a painting surface. And I also found this cheap 100 yen message board, which is really just a plain version of the same thing. You may be wondering why this mask is included as an art supply. Well, I bought this to use as a reference, similar to this model skull that I have. It's great for practicing drawing, and it can also be used to play around with different lighting setups. So yeah, I figured I'd use this in a similar way, but with this unique Hannya Mask. I've drawn some of these no masks in the past, and I've found them really good subjects to draw. Alright, back to the video. Glass pens. I've never used them, but I found this one at Seria for 100 yen. And the ink was also 100 yen. And this pen rest, which I splurged another 100 yen on. I had quite a few options, so maybe I can go back and get more ink if I end up liking it. These are more just stationery items. I was hoping I could find some nice looking clips to replace the bulldog clips that I normally use, but I didn't really find too many, so in the end I just got this green one. I can't complain, it looks alright and does the job. I got this tiny ruler, thought maybe I could use this for straight lines when outdoor sketching. And now, something I was searching for, the NJK531S pencil sharpener, which I've heard, despite its humble looks, has a cult following. Okay, the packaging was unique. Anyway, the reason I wanted this is because it's a long point sharpener. Back home, these are a lot more expensive, some are around 10 times this price. So far, I'm really happy with it. So maybe I should have bought a second one. The way the shavings come out looks kind of cool. They even made an artwork based on these shavings, so it's not just me. This is a small aluminium box I got from Daiso and a kneadable eraser. Actually, it isn't a great fit, so I'll probably use this box for something else. Anyway, I love these for rolling over paper to lighten a drawing or making precise shapes for controlled erasing. You may know the Sakura company who makes these pens, but I found out they also make a range of student-grade art supplies, like these matte watercolors, which sound like they might be a bit like gouache. They're very economical, so I'm looking forward to trying these out. They also make brushes like this set of 2 that I bought. Well, you can write your name on it, and it comes with an ergonomic grip. I haven't really seen that much before. I also found this Sakura Conte Pastel set of 6. I love Conte crayons, and these were cheap, so hopefully they're good for sketching. Comes with an interesting mix of colours. I've heard that sketching with brush pens is a good way to improve your drawing skills. There were so many available, so I made sure I got a few. I've used this Pigma Micron one before. I know these are well and truly waterproof, so they really come in handy, especially when used with gouache and watercolour. You can get varied strokes with these, but it really does take practice to get good at it. This one has 2 ends, a black tip and a grey one. I thought this might be good for sketching outlines and shadows. Here's what it looks like. These are traditional brushes, one being bamboo and the other a cheaper synthetic version. I've seen videos of a style of painting called Nihonga, so I'm interested to see if I can try my hand at it with these brushes. I also bought this angled brush to go with the larger one that I already have. I don't have one this size, and I should get a lot of use out of this for gouache painting. This one was an impulse buy, a fine brush but with a hexagonal handle like a pencil. Well, for 165 yen, how could I say no? You can never have enough of these fine marker pens. Although I got this wine-coloured Copic one, which I think would be good for drawing outlines of skin in portraits, instead of using just black. Next up are these high-tech C pens, which seem to have a fanatical following if the internet is to be believed. Well, anyway, the great thing about these is the range of colours and that you can build your own pen. I already have a few colours, so this time I was able to get even more. is the other pen that I already had that has more colours. You can also get these as individual pens. They sort of feel a bit scratchier than a ballpoint pen, but they do write extremely consistently if the paper is clean. I find sometimes if there's a little bit of graphite, they don't work quite so well. The colours are really great. I've recently become interested in ballpoint pen sketching, and I'd heard really good things about Jetstream pens. Well, in Japan you can get them everywhere, supermarkets, drugstores, and I even got some of these at a hardware store. So far I have to say they are really good, but maybe too good, because I found it hard to draw lightly with them compared to other cheaper pens. But maybe I just need more practice. Here I am trying them out while I was in Japan with a few sketches. They also sell a premium version, the Jetstream Edge, for about 1,000 yen. This really does feel nice and premium, and this tip is extremely fine at 0.28 millimeters. I'm almost certain this is the finest ballpoint pen I've ever used, so it should be really great for doing some detailed hatching. This is a grey highlighter with 2 tips. I did try it outside once for this quick sketch. Not sure it's as good as a graphic marker made for drawing, but it's nice and compact. Finally bought one of these fine retractable erasers. Nothing exciting, but it was a lot cheaper than back at home. And I picked up some refills. This mechanical pencil, or sharp pen as they're called in Japan. What can I say? It looked cool and has a nice grip, so I bought one. Some lead pencils. And this pencil was a bit of an impulse buy. This pouch is made out of the same material they use to line tatami mats, and it's called tatami berry. I got it to slip a few pens into so I could easily slip them into my backpack. I really like this. It looks really neat, and it should come in handy for sure. Since that won't even hold 1% of the items I bought though, I also got this pencil case. It's from Daiso and it was a whopping 300 yen. It does the job. Oh, and you can stand it up like this. These are more Sakura supplies, this time oil pastels or crayons, I guess. I'd seen these before, but never tried them, so just got a couple individually since they were cheap. I don't have much experience with oil pastels, so I can't really easily compare them with anything else. But here I am trying to blend them. Now, so far nothing in this video was from an actual art supply store, but the next few items were from this small one in Kurashiki. I'd never heard of these Holbein cake colours before, but being described as opaque watercolours makes them sound like dry cakes of gouache paint. Not sure why they don't just call it gouache, since gouache is pretty much opaque watercolors. The red case is unique, and it has a nice selection of colors. You can replace the individual cakes, and at the store you could buy them individually, but not sure how widely available they are. This is a set of Holbein Artist Gouache. I don't really need these since I have a good set of Winsor & Newton designer gouache, but I do like how the Holbein gouache flows when used straight from the tube, and I prefer the lids on these. They just feel a bit easy to open and close. The tube design is a bit better with the colour a lot more prominent. Sorry, Winsor & Newton? Maybe I do need these after all. Next, I went to Tokyu Hands, which I always like going to. They have a good range of art supplies and stationery. So I got these Japanese paints called Gansai Tambi. They're described as being like watercolour, but using a more traditional Japanese formulation. They use a different binder than Western watercolours, so it'll be interesting to see what the difference is. Oh, and you can buy them individually. Here's some that I bought last year. Okay, now, and the final item, paper palettes that I got from Daiso for 100 yen. I didn't get to use these, but I'm sure I will. And that brings us to the end of the video. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me try out first. Thank you so much for watching.